Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
But our guys our guys have a good attitude. They come to work every week and practice and, do a good job studying, paying attention. And I think character in the locker room is big. Dalvin is a tremendous leader, along with, Anthony Barr, getting him back and playing. He's a great leader as well, and Patrick Peterson. So, we just keep trying to get these guys healthy where we can all play together at once.
What's with the sunglasses line there for Mike Zimmer across his face? Is that just from practicing outside?
I think that's just permanently there, dude. He seems like a guy who rocks sunglasses all the damn time.
He's still got the bad eye.
And he's got the bad eye, too. That might have to do with
I think if he's in a place that has excessive light, he probably has to wear them to protect the eye.
That's a good point, Judd.
What's up with that hat, though? I hate that hat. Like, it's got, what are the trackings on the front? So it's a black
little
hat,
busy. It's a little busy.
It's got the white mark, but it looks like a road map on there or something.
See, I like the black and then the black and white with the white Vikings logo. I don't need the little notches on the side.
That's what I'm asking though. But
it's too busy.
What are the notches though?
It's too busy.
I don't need the notches. I don't need the notch. You don't need those notches.
You don't need the hat. You don't need the hat.
Let me tell you something, Mike. You don't need that.
You don't need it.
This is Purple Daily. It's daily Vikings entertainment, therapy, and
is it really?
Things like that. Yeah. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. And our show is presented in part by TCL. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL, one of the world's best-selling electronics brands. New lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution at an affordable price. So get one of those TCL TVs in your house for some football viewing down the stretch. Every single week, we take a market look at the upcoming Vikings game. We look at current playoff odds. We look at the spread and what some of the sports books and sharps are saying about this matchup. So we'll get to the actual game and our predictions here in a moment. But let's start with current playoff odds, gentlemen, from a couple different publications. So Football Outsiders and 538 see this a little differently for the Vikings. Not much, but just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Football Outsiders has the Vikings at 55% to make the playoffs. 538 says 61% to make the playoffs. So an above 50% chance to make it. Football Outsider says 12.5% chance to win the division. 538 says 10% to win the division. Football Outsider says 1.3% Super Bowl win. 538 says 2% Super Bowl win.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing. It was like 0.5% a few weeks ago. So.
Yeah, it's probably fair.
So, and then one more note here. If the Vikings beat the Niners, their playoff odds jump over 70%.
Oh, wow.
Mostly because they own the conference tiebreaker. Right now, they have a 4-2 conference record. If they were to win this game, they'd be 5-2 in conference, which, they could still lose some conference games, but it would give them probably the tiebreaker edge in that category over most of the teams that could catch them. So what are your thoughts on the Vikings having like a 55-60% chance to make the playoffs and like a 2% chance to win it all?
The 2% chance to win it all, I think, might be a little bit high. It's fair, but it might be a little bit high. But if Brady's healthy, I don't think you're going to win the Super Bowl. But anyway, the playoffs, absolutely the playoffs. There's 7 teams now. There's 7 seeds. They are. If they beat San Fran, as you talked about, Phil, just from a tiebreaker standpoint, they're in great shape. And look, the 7th seed is not going to be a good team. So you should make the playoffs, and they very well might be at this rate the 6th seed. I mean, hell, who knows? So yes, I think the amount of increase in the Vikings' odds of making the postseason is entirely fair. It's accurate, and if they beat San Fran on Sunday, they are in incredibly good shape to get in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair. The funny thing is with this NFC East now, the Cowboys looking vulnerable and the Eagles having an absolute cakewalk for the rest of the season. Like, the Eagles have the easiest schedule by far in the NFL. I think their opponent winning percentage the rest of the way is like 400. It's really, really it's a cakewalk. It's because they get to play the Redskins, Washington, I should say, and the Giants. They might even have the Lions on there. now all of a sudden it's not just getting in the 7th seed. Can you actually get one of those bigger, or one of those like the 5th seed in the wild card? Because that might make things a lot easier for your first round matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't mind playing Philly, like as much as I say this now, which can egg on my face. If the Eagles end up stealing this division, I don't mind going to Philadelphia on wild card weekend.
I'm going to pull this up here for the viewing audience on the YouTube page. You guys can see the standings here, at least somewhat.
Yeah.
So I want to go through an exercise with you here, and it's called Eyes Up. All right? Eyes up. There we go.
Eyes north?
Move this down a little bit here. Okay.
Yeah.
All eyes north?
So here's the problem. When Vikings fans look at the standings, they generally are looking at the teams behind the Vikings that might catch them, because that's the world we live in, right? It's what's the bad thing that could happen? What's the other shoe that could drop? Oh, my God. Like, what if the Eagles get hot because they play in a bad division? What if Russell Wilson gets hot? And, all this stuff, which I don't think is going to happen at this point. I want everyone to look upwards instead, because now that the Vikings are 5-5 and they got a bunch of winnable games on their schedule, they're only 2 games back of the Rams for that 5 seed. They're only 2 games back of the Packers in the loss count. If the Packers lose to the Rams this weekend, the Vikings have a game against the Packers later if they just want to beat them head-to-head, and then they would just need the Packers to drop another one somewhere. And so I think the teams above the Vikings, and I get that like there's 4 division slots, so you could have a better record than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And because the Cowboys play in just a weak division in which they're going to win, it's not going to matter. So the only team in the top 4 that matters is the Packers. But even like, I know you're 3 games out from the best record, but I think the focus should be catching some of these teams in the top 5 as opposed to holding off the Panthers or holding off the 49ers.
Right, but the problem with that, I think, in some fans' minds, is then, Phil, you are holding the Vikings accountable, which is a good thing. But the accountability here is don't beat yourself. Like this entire season has been about one thing: the Vikings. It's not the opponents. It's not those teams were just too good, you couldn't beat them. It is the Vikings, and
there is no dominant team in the NFL right now.
Yep. And a lot of it's coaching. Because as we discussed, I think on Friday's shows, this team very easily could have 7 wins. They could have 8 wins. So the question now is, do you have the gall, the gumption, the intestinal fortitude to keep your foot on the gas offensively, and can you get by defensively? Because I don't expect this team to be great defensively by now. It's just probably not in the cards. But if you play the past 2 games, if you play offensively like you have in the past 2 games, that's where there's an accountability that is all on you to catch those teams, and that ability exists. Can you do it?
Yeah. All right, let's get to the actual game itself. Who we think's going to win, who we think's going to cover, presented by Surly Brewing Company, Judd. The beer of champions on this great, glorious sports weekend.
I'm wearing a Surly cap today. I've got a Surly Furious by me. I'm not done yet because I also have my Surly coffee mug. That's right.
That, dude.
Everything's coming up Surly, and that's because it's a football weekend. And my suggestion is football on Saturday, football on Sunday. Spend it on your couch with your best friend. That's right, a can of Surly Furious. Surly, don't settle.
Do you name your cans? Like, is that Bob?
This is Kirk.
Okay, I see.
This is Kirk.
Your most expensive can.
My most expensive can, but the best can, Justin.
Justin?
Of course, it's Justin. It's Justin. Not to be confused with the Ant can, which is going to come too because of Ant. But yes, Surly Furious, don't settle, get Surly.
Show us your cans too.
Show us your cans.
We love when you guys send us pictures of your Surly cans, not to be confused with other cans.
On Thursday.
No.
Shout out to Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been helping business owners for over 100 years. You can find them online at federatedinsurance.com, where you can find a full list of industries that they protect and just all sorts of resources and tools for business owners when it comes to risk management, bottom line protection, protecting your employees, making sure you got the right policies in place. Federatedinsurance.com, and remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours.
Football.
All right. So the 49ers are 3.5-point favorites in many sports books. Some have it 3, some have it 3.5. That is a big distinction. But for the purposes of this, we're going to say 3.5-point favorites. That's the consensus on actionnetwork.com. 61% of the bets are on the Vikings, and 83% of the money is on the Vikings. So a lot of people looking at this saying, sure, I'll take those.
Yep.
You're going to give me 3 points?
Yep.
So I'm going to give you some nuggets here, and then we can dive into this. So the 49ers, they started 2-4. Everyone wrote them off, just like the Vikings. They started 0-2 and then 3-5. Everyone wrote them off. And since then, both teams have gotten hot. The Vikings have won 2 in a row. The Niners have won 3 of their last 4, including blowout wins over both the Rams and the Jaguars. The Niners defense has allowed only 478 total yards combined the last 2 weeks. According to Action Network, the Vikings are passing it all over opponents right now with Justin Jefferson virtually unstoppable. And the Niners' pass defense ranks 30th in expected points added this season over the last 5 weeks. On the other side, though, the Niners lead the NFL in expected points added over that stretch when it comes to running the football, especially now that George Kittle and Trent Williams are healthy, and a banged-up Vikings defensive line that has left them near the bottom of the league in run defense makes it problematic. So Niners run the ball well, Vikings can't stop that. Vikings throw the ball well, Niners can't stop that. This sets up a potential shootout and likely the over, with both teams' defenses struggling to get off the field. The Niners should be able to run all day, but the Vikings should be able to pass all over the 49ers. The question then is, which of those things matters more? It's a good reminder that passing is always, always more important in today's NFL. As long as the Vikings lean on the passing game, they have the edge here, as long as the coaches don't get bogged down with running the ball.
Yeah, I love it.
That is verbatim from ActionNetwork.com.
That's a really good synopsis.
So with that, let's go through. We'll start with Judd. This is a wide enough spread to where I think we should pick the outright winner of the game, and also, if you think it's the Vikings, are they going to cover the spread or are they going to win, I guess, is my question.
I'm going outright winner, Niners, because I want to see the Vikings prove to me against a team like this that they can win. And again, they're going to have a game, and this is probably it, where something goes wrong offensively. And do you have the guts to say, you know what, our identity is this? Kirk threw a bad pass. Jefferson tipped a ball. It got picked. Too damn bad. Until I actually see that from this coaching staff, I'm not going to believe it's real. They can sell me all they want on how they've changed, but I need to see that. San Francisco, though, likes to punch you in the face. The Vikings, traditionally, when they get punched in the face, aren't great at coming back. So I'm going to go San Francisco wins the game. 3.5, Vikings cover the spread.
I feel like the Vikings should be able to win this game. I do. But I'm with Mackie on his take from Mackie and Judd earlier today that if they do, it's because they air it out. Like, I kind of thought at first going into this week that it would be close and it could be smash in the mouth football, 17-14, just grind it out. But then I thought about it more. It's like, well, the Vikings probably wouldn't win the game like that. I mean, I can see San Francisco winning the game like that. I don't see the Purple winning the game like that. So if the Vikings do upset the Packers, it's because they pass all over the place on them. If they try to get into a time of possession and they get back to Dalvin Cook and just trying to control the clock, I think San Francisco wins. So that's my long-winded way of still saying the Vikings will upset the Niners, but it will take them airing the ball out a ton to do so.
The Vikings wins, too, like their last 3 wins, they've scored 34 points, 27 points, that's on the road, and then 34 points on the road at Carolina. They also beat the Seahawks by scoring 30 points. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring affair, and I agree with this Action Network write-up. If the Vikings just stick to what's worked the last couple weeks, don't get caught up in trying to keep the game low-scoring and big strike offense. Big strike offense. Here's a couple other nuggets here. So Kyle Shanahan is 10-22-1, so 31% against the spread as a favorite. And the Niners are 1-4 against the spread at home this season. So those two things work in the Vikings' favor. The Vikings are 4-0 against the spread in their past 4 road games. So another trend that works for the Vikings. If it's 3.5, I am taking the Vikings all day against the spread here. It's a wide enough gap to where you might have two different answers as to who covers versus who wins. But like, make no mistake, the Vikings, I think, cover the spread in this one, even if they lose. I think they win the game. I legitimately think we've seen an awakening of some kind here in the last couple weeks. I think it's going to be tougher sledding than it's been. I think Kirk's going to throw an interception or something. Like I think Judd's sense is right that something's going to happen. I've got him throwing 2 interceptions and write that down. Can they overcome it? Just because you throw a pick doesn't mean the game is over. It's not checkmate. So I for sure think they're going to cover, and I will say for the purposes of this show that they will also win the game outright.
If I'm the Niners, when it comes to a guy like Bosa too, even if it means taking a roughing the passer call, I demolish Kirk early because that's the thing that's going to get in Kirk's head.
I mean, it's his credit that he's gotten obliterated a few times.
Right, no, but
game,
I keep doing, but
he has
I'm saying I
field.
at least put that thought in Kirk's head, which is I beat your guy and I hit you really hard, because I feel like if Kirk responds to that in a positive way, you're in pretty good shape.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's like, oh crap, so like that's where I would test this team. But if Kirk comes back, it's like screw it, that's fine, bring it on. That's great because yes. Phil, I'm with you. I think the Vikings should win. This to me would be a very important step in, do they have the gumption to do the things it's going to take to win a game like this? If they do, I become absolutely more positive about the potential direction.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw one stat out. I threw a variation of this out yesterday, I think on Mackey and Judd. But it's even more glaring when you put it in percentage form. So Pro Football Focus tracks depth of passes. So like short passes are anything 9 yards and less or fewer in the air. Deep passes are anything 20 yards and more through the air. Intermediate is 10 to 19 yards through the air. And that's where guys like Tom Brady has built a Hall of Fame career off intermediate passes, right? And I think that's the area we get so fixated on. Throw the ball deep. Justin Jefferson, 50 yards down the field. And we get so fixated on stop checking down short. Well, the real sweet spot is the middle of the not the middle of the field necessarily, although that can be too, but like the middle of the range. So like 10 to 19 yards through the air. You're throwing it past the sticks. You're not getting too risky because you're not throwing it 50 yards down the field. Kirk Cousins ranks 32nd in the NFL in percentage of throws in the intermediate range. Tom Brady's number 1.
It's interesting.
The highest, he's got the highest percentage of throws in the middle of that range. Right. Only 17% of Cousins' throws are 10 to 19 yards in the air. I know I'm getting really in the weeds here, but that to me, like you got Thielen, Jefferson, KJ Osborne, like those guys should be living in that area, right? Beyond the sticks. You're not getting super risky. Throw the ball in the air 12 yards, 15 yards. I would love, and they did more of that. This last week was like the best average depth of target they've thrown all year.
That's a shocking stat.
It's weird,
I'm really surprised he's that low because he can make those throws. Like he's good at those throws, I think.
You know what's funny? Aaron Rodgers is right there with him. Rodgers is sort of feast or famine, deep or short.
He likes to, yeah. No, I'm more surprised by Kirk because to me that stat is at least from the Viking standpoint all about coaching and play calls.
Yeah, I think it's partially the choice of Kirk.
Sure,
but you're right. It's probably
but it's like how is Thielen not that guy? Like Thielen is ideal for that range.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Just wanted to point that out. All right, we got a few more props here, but Judd, tell the audience here over this holiday stretch how you've been able to lose like 25 or 30 pounds.
26 pounds down, and that's thanks to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. And now, long before Jan 1 hits, you can do the same. And I've got a Black Friday weekend offer. That's correct. If you give yourself the gift of good health like I have, you can save 50% off the Livia program. Today, first visit is free. 855-GO LIVEA, Livia.com, LIVEA.com. Join now. So by Jan 1, you're not saying, oh my gosh, I've got to lose a ton of weight. You're saying I've already lost weight and you're going to lose more. Livia.com. Not only will they help you lose the weight, they will then help you keep the weight off. And that is the key thing. As I said, down 26 pounds, and I've still got about 13 more to go, but
Boom.
It's a program that works.
Boom.
You like that?
All right.
You like that?
A few props here. Over, under 49 total points between Niners Vikings.
49. That's a sweet spot too. Like that's a really good number to put it on. I'm going to say, since I think San Francisco wins, I'm going to go under, because I'm going to say that if they win, they're going to do a good job of controlling the ball and trying to keep the Vikings offense off the field. Ideally, if you're a Vikings fan, I think you definitely want it to go over, but I'm going to say under. Dex?
I say over if they win. Yeah, I'm pretty much in lockstep with Judd. If they win, it's over that 49. But if San Francisco controls this pace, it'll be well under that. It'll be well under it.
I'm going to take the over, and it's almost fully predicated on the Vikings jumping out to a lead in this game. If they don't jump out to a lead, I think it's going to be hard. All right, Justin Jefferson. We have just gone blindly over lately because we're trying to will it into existence, and we have successfully done that. Over or under 84.5 receiving yards.
Over. I don't think these corners can stop him consistently. So
they're going to scheme to stop him. They
are going
to
to.
put two defenders on him.
Oh my God, they've gone too high. We're going to have to forget about him. Let's just give the ball to CJ Ham. I am going to say, win or lose, Justin Jefferson goes over on that number.
Yep, still over. I will continue to just say it. Over. I want
over. Me too.
Over. Hammer it. Over.
All right, old Kirky boy, Kirky McClutcherton, the fourth quarter pharaoh, 270.5 passing yards.
Interesting.
Over. In this league now, if you continue to throw like the Vikings should, he'll consistently exceed that, I think. And again, against these corners, the Vikings, Thielen, Jefferson, possibly Osborne as well, will have some success. So will Kirk.
I'll say over too. I mean, that's a pretty good number to go at, because I don't know how.
I think we lost Declan there. I don't know what happened.
Did he hit the mute button?
I don't know. We can see Declan's mouth.
Can't hear
moving,
you.
But we can't hear you. Declan, give us a point up if it's over.
Over.
It's
okay.
over. He's going over. Okay.
Am I back now? You got me?
You're
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Okay,
What
I was
happened
figuring. Okay.
You
You're fine.
blacked out there for a second.
He's so excited.
I'm gonna say over too. Like if they continue to play, well, it should just be over whether you're leading the game or not. Like just keep pounding it to these amazing weapons.
Playing catch up. Exactly right.
Okay, Jimmy Garoppolo, over or under 250.5 passing yards.
I'm going to say under, because I think they're going to try and run the ball so much that it's not that I think Garoppolo is going to stink. I just don't think. I think their game plan is probably pound the rock, control the clock, keep your offense on the field. I'm going to go under.
Under.
Pound the rock, control the clock.
There's
And-
another one there. Well,
Pound the rock, control
whip
the
out
clock.
your favorite
And show us-
Thanksgiving
and
leftover.
show us your surly
Show us your
cans.
under. I'll say under for Jimmy G.
So he's gone way under the last two games because he's only thrown a total of 41 passes the last two games because they took a big lead. They started handing it off. The game before that, they fall behind to Arizona, and he throws 40 passes for 326. So it's literally just predicated on, will the Niners be behind? If yes, they will abandon the run and throw. If they are ahead, Jimmy G will throw for 180 yards or something. And because I think the Vikings are going to win and find a way to keep doing what they want to do, I'm going to say over for Jimmy Garoppolo, but in a bad way for the 49ers. So there it is. All right, don't take our advice to the actual windows because we can't guarantee victory.
But feel free to pound the clock or pound the rock, control the clock. Feel free
pound
to do
the
that.
rock, control
the
the clock.
You like that? We got spirit. Yes, we do. We got spirit. How about you?
All right, that is a wrap on Purple Daily, Purple Props edition. Don't forget, right after Vikings 49ers, Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. That's the most fan-friendly interactive show in Minnesota sports, so check us out. And if you like this content on our YouTube channel specifically, please click the subscribe button and the like button. It helps spread the word about the show to fellow Vikings fans. We'll see you guys tomorrow.